I dedicate this video to Marlene Glish, my grandmother, who was passed in 2008. She had taught me about music when I was younger, and I just dedicate this video to her. I just want to say, Grandma Marlene, I love you, and I can't wait to make it to heaven with you. And the song is about coming to heaven, and I'll see you when I come home. I love you.
I love you, Jesus.
Imagination. We love, we care, 'cause our heart is filled with passion. We are born, then we live, and we die. It's the circle of life. We are free, free to believe in one God in this nation. We love God, this we cry. It's the circle of life. We are free, free to believe that God gave us this life. We feel pain, we feel joy, we're only human. We like to love, we like to laugh, we have the spirit of life. But this we know, we sometimes feel the devil attacks our life. So we must trust that God protects our life. We are born, then we live, and we die. It's the circle of life. We are free, free to believe in one God in this nation. We love God, this we cry. It's the circle of life. We are free, free to believe that God gave us this life. We must do all we can for our battle plan. We must live, we must love, we must care before we pass. So this I know, where we go after we live and pass. So this I say, as we pray, the times come at last. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
I'm coming home.
That's some lung capacity you got there.
It's because I stopped smoking cigarettes. That was only like 20 seconds. A few people can go longer.
Yeah.
So hello everybody, welcome to Umineko episode 5 part 14. How are you doing?
Answer the question, audience. Come on, audience. Just answer the question. No. I'm doing okay. I'm doing pretty good. I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
Wait, what? I didn't say anything about you being crazy, man.
Good, because I'm not crazy.
Okay. So, we've got more answers today.
Answers.
Yeah, and this one's really gonna help you. So let's start reading.
Shit, okay. Bella returned to the guest house at 3 a.m. Then the rest of you split up about 30 minutes later, right? Yes, that's right. Drowsiness was finally starting to catch up to us. We decided to take a short rest and then start up again.
To smoke out the murderer of the first Twilight, Erika closely questioned everyone involved to check their alibis and evidence. To confirm these, she went around the mansion with them and, when needed, took several trips out to the guest house through all the Wayne. Her vitality was impressive. Though she was an uninvited guest, everyone had long since stopped feeling anything strange about the way she played the detective. She's kinda young, though.
Yeah,
she's like detective.
She's like fucking 8
Maybe
years
if it was
old.
like someone who looked like a detective or something, I'd be like, oh yeah, let him figure it out.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. She looks like
But an
she's like
8-year-old?
5.
Jeez, too young, too young.
It seems Erika is also steadily building her foundation. It's useless. It's all useless.
So useless. Why is Ballard's infected beings?
Whether alibis exist or not, she can't deny our existence. Kinzo escaped through the window and is now one with the mists of Rakanjima. She most certainly won't be able to capture or deny him. When all's said and done, perhaps you could say he's escaped to the underside of the chessboard. In that case, maybe it would be appropriate to say he's been stowed away. Come to think of it, about those corpses from the first Twilight, they've been stowed away too, right? Yes, they've been put away in my darkness, which lies between this world and the next.
That makes no sense.
And that detective wannabe won't be able to find them? Of course she won't. It'd definitely be impossible for a human. Wanna check? Oh! There's something that I wanted to say to you. Remember last time, and they were all talking about, the knock. How did the knock on the door?
Yeah.
And then I said, I kind of just figured it out in my head. I know how it happened. And then you were like, wait, shouldn't you know how it happened? Because it should tell you all the answers.
No.
But you don't remember any of that?
No, I remember that. I was just like, no, that's retarded.
What do you mean?
Like, it's retarded that it should tell you all the answers.
That it shouldn't?
That it should tell you all the answers.
Oh, you don't think it should?
Yeah. Nope. Not all of them.
Oh. Well.
I mean, maybe most of them.
Okay,
The
well
important
that's not
ones.
what you said. I don't think.
That's not what I said last time, I know.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, because I was going to say, like, there's a lot of mysteries in here, and it would take a long time to go over every single little one. So basically, once you find out who the culprit is, it becomes a lot easier to figure out. It becomes really easy to figure out the mysteries and how they were done. Kind of like how once you find out that Kinzo was dead in all of the episodes, that solves like most of the mysteries from episode 1. Like most of those were revolved around Kinzo, and whether he was alive. Like, not the murders, but like the other mysteries, like the receipt in the door. Like most of those little mysteries and all that. It's like, oh, the door was never opened because Kinzo wasn't in there, in the room. He was dead.
Yeah.
And they were just making him up. So yeah, that's sort of how it is. Once you figure it out, it becomes really easy to go back and just logic it. Just like, oh, if it's had to have been done this way.
Yeah. Yeah, basically everything's easier in hindsight.
Yeah. Just in case, and we also need to re-examine what Lady Burncastell's goals will be from now on. If you know your enemy, you need not fear the outcome of 100 battles. If you know the truth, you can win 100 battles without fighting. There you go. That's what I was just saying. If you know the truth, you can win all the battles without even trying.
Yeah.
Boo-goo-goo-goo. My. Gop opened up a large hole in the sky and had it swallow all of them up. She invited Beato and Ronove to the gap between worlds where she had hidden the corpses. That place was nowhere in this world, and existed at no time of this world. In other words, it truly and literally was a place not of this world. In this place, questions such as, where is this, and what time is it, have no meaning. Every single place led to here, but no place could be reached from here. Furthermore, all times connected to this place, but no time could be passed to from here. In short, this place was just what they said it was, the underside of the chessboard. No, perhaps it would be most appropriate to call this the captured pile, where pieces that have left the game go. Then, through the pitch-black world, a glow like a faint spotlight shone and 5 corpses came into view. The 5 pitiful corpses with their necks sliced open had been arranged neatly. Their eyelids were shut and their hands joined. Apparently, even Gop had respect for the dead. Oh my, there are 5 sacrifices for the first twilight in this game? Not 6? Oh, it's you, teacher. I was worried about where you'd gone. The game has already reached the first twilight, and as you see, the first victims have appeared. So it's finally time. I'm getting all excited. Oh, I guess they're going to finally examine the corpses and try and figure something out, I guess? Because they only really talked about, oh, the mystery of the door knocking, or the mystery of how Kinzo got out of the room, or... Yeah.
Stupid mysteries like that, yeah.
I see.
Well, not stupid.
The you that is here looks to be in high spirits. I'm pleased. I've got high spirits and a captivating body. Add in my charming disposition, and you've got my only strong points. For some reason, Virgilia praised Beato for being in high spirits. Though Beato was taken aback at such granny-like words coming out of Virgilia's mouth all of a sudden, she pounded her chest and answered. Virgilia had been absent often during this game. She might even have been absent when Battler solved the epitaph, as well as during the uproar that followed. Apparently, she'd been absent for so many critical points, probably because she's hanging out with the real Beatrice up above the game board.
Yeah.
That's like a doll. That she didn't really understand much about what had happened so far in this game. Right now, 5 corpses have appeared. As you can see, their necks have been slit. George, Jessica, Maria, Rosa, Genji. All 5 of them had had their necks sliced open by something sharp. The wound opened wider than their mouths, and it made it feel as though they no longer need their mouths to breathe. I see. So, anyone looking at George, Jessica, Maria, Rosa, or Genji's corpses could confirm at a glance that they are dead. Red? Well, there's no point in me holding out against you. That's right. At a glance, anyone could confirm that these corpses are dead, so it's absolutely impossible that they're just playing dead. Why did Leah use the red? Who knows? However, she is always thinking of what's best for Milady. She probably has some idea in mind that will benefit her. But they'd hid the corpses here, specifically so that no one would be able to use the red. However, Ronove was right. Virgilia always thought of Beatrice first. A slightly displeased expression rose to Gop's face, as she saw that the corpses she'd gone to such lengths to hide had now been confirmed dead in red. Yes, and what's even the point?
Actually, yeah, that's fucking...
However, in the end, she remembered that she was only a guest and shrugged. Why did you have Gop hide the corpses? As to that, since the epitaph has already been solved, this game of mine is different from usual. I now have serving and protecting Natsui as my goal. How will concealing their corpses protect Natsui? We've more or less figured out what our opponent's moves will be. This is probably a trap meant to corner Natsui. Most likely, they'll sort through alibis for the first twilight and find them for everyone except her. Last night, Natsui was the first to leave the family conference and then rested alone in her room. Unfortunately, she has no alibi whatsoever until the next morning. We've already made Kinzo's existence impossible to deny. However, there is a single move remaining to our enemy that might cancel that out. I see. Though they'll corner Natsui and make her confess that Kinzo doesn't exist. Indeed. The enemy is probably after something like that. By watching the movements of the pieces involved with the family conference, we quickly realized that Natsui was isolated. Notice that trap of theirs encountered with this move. The corpses disappear. Everyone has alibis, and no one exists who could have moved them. Not only does this support the claim that a witch exists, it also throws doubt on whether there were actually corpses in the first place, just barely allowing Natsui to escape being a suspect. In other words, it's possible for Natsui to claim that the sacrifices of the first twilight were only plain dead. You mean, even though many people confirmed their death without fail in the cousin room? Mere confirmation of facts doesn't even approach the red truth. No matter how much everyone claims to have truly witnessed their deaths, the red truth doesn't exist in the human world. Because the corpses don't exist, Natsui can discount their words as a mistake, some sort of trick, or she can say they were all lying, and it's possible for her to do this over and over to buy time for herself. In the human world, which lacks the red truth, perpetual check is a valid move. An endless argument with both sides denying the other's claims. Not pretty. True. However, beauty is something to be sought only after victory. When those without victory seek it, it is naught but poison. Well, they do say might makes right. And even if I don't think it's beautiful, those Voyager witches will probably like it and say it isn't boring. I see. I've managed to grasp the flow of this game. I imagine that it will get quite nasty. We're fully aware of that, and we already know that Natsui's probably about to be lured into yet another trap. A trap? Indeed, someone Lady Lambda Delta created, who calls himself a man from 19 years ago, has already threatened Natsui. She was ordered to go into a closet in a certain guest room in a few minutes at 1:00 p.m. and hide there. Kraus was taken hostage, so Natsui can't resist. I see. How relentless. Can you protect her? Of course. After all, Natsui isn't the culprit. No matter how much she's treated as the culprit, both the truth and phantoms are on our side. There's no way we'll lose. Natsui threw her cup of tea to the ground in protest, expressing the anger that flowed throughout her entire body. What do you mean by that? Are you saying you suspect me?
You told me you left before anyone else, returned to your room, and didn't leave that room until morning. However, if you cannot prove that, it doesn't count as an alibi. Prove?
How could I possibly do that?
It doesn't matter how. Objectively speaking, it'll all be fine as long as you prove it wasn't possible for you to commit the crime. Everyone else is cooperating. I want you to stop being so hostile and give me your alibi along with proof. That's right. Almost the whole night is a blank space and time for Natsui. She might have left the conference. Since she wanted to rest before us, then gone to the guest house and attacked George and the others.
Please don't be such a fool. Why would I kill George, and on top of that, my own daughter, Jessica?
Calm down. We're all equally suspicious. It's sad, but we all have to prove our innocence.
We've been thinking frantically about how to prove our alibis for last night, so that we could clear up the suspicion against us.
I know you can't like being suspected, Natsui. If it frustrates you, then shouldn't your first priority be searching for some way to prove your own innocence?
The relatives spoke as though they were all under equal suspicion, but the mood about the place didn't feel so peaceful. Erika was still in the middle of confirming all of the facts, but except for Natsui, who was uncooperative when it came to proving alibis, everyone else had an alibi that was reasonably credible. Only Natsui, who claimed that even being suspected was an insult, was uncooperative with Erika, and her position began to grow more and more powerless. This power was no longer a place of comfort for Natsui, and the sound of the cup smashing had made that decisive.
That's ridiculous. Why must I be suspected when I've lost a daughter? You're maliciously trying to make me look like the culprit just because I went to bed early last night. I cannot stand this humiliation any further.
Oh, so what are you going to do about it? Show us some kind of alibi that proves your innocence. As if you could. Give me George back, murderer.
I was gonna say Genji could prove it, but Genji is one of the ones who died.
Yep,
So goddamn.
Genji's dead.
Yeah, and Kraus, they think that Kraus is murdered. Natsui knows the truth, but why would she murder Jessica and Kraus?
Who knows, dude? Maybe she's crazy.
I'm not crazy, you're crazy.
Stop it, Ava. Natsui, you're probably a bit tired, too. Same goes for us, of course. Why don't we take it easy for now?
Seriously, we're a little too high-strung. And that's where are you going?
Searching for alibis or the culprit would be truly laughable at this point. When the typhoon passes and the police come, everything will be exposed to the light of day. There's no reason whatsoever for us to play at being detectives. Am I wrong, Erika?
Generally speaking, you're right. However, I do have the authority to do this.
Who gave her that authority? No one asked. It was an authority given by words of power from a higher world, so the pieces weren't even allowed to doubt it.
What?
I'm leaving. I have no intention of going along with your pointless questioning before the police come. If you suspect me, feel free to do so. I'm counting on the police to clear away that suspicion.
It may be a bit late to mention this. Who's talking?
Probably Ballard. It may be a bit late to mention this, but then again, I guess this happens every time anyway. As usual, the phone couldn't connect to the police. Natsui said the police would be coming, but that wasn't exactly true.
Is this Badler?
I don't think so.
Well, because it's he knows about whoever's talking knows about stuff that happened in previous games. What? Because it says this happens every time. As usual, the phone couldn't connect to the police. I think this might be just Ryukishi. Like the writer is talking.
Sure.
But then again, I guess this happens every time anyway. As usual, the phone couldn't connect to the police. Natsui said the police would be coming, but that wasn't exactly true. Strictly speaking, the boat would come tomorrow, and they would use the radio on that boat to contact the police. Well, it's not like I'll let everyone live that long anyway.
What the fuck?
Okay. Natsui!
Weird.
It's dangerous to go alone. Perhaps it would be better if we all stayed here.
Why not let her? This might make us some very good proof. If Natsui gets killed in her own room, that'll be excellent proof of her innocence. Quit! It's probably best if we all get a bit of rest. Our bodies won't last until tomorrow.
If we're going to take a break, we still mustn't let our guards down, got it? We might not make it through the night, much less tomorrow.
And Natsui, if you're returning to your room, make sure you lock it tight. Close the windows and shutters too, and stay safe. I don't want to suspect anyone, and more than that, I don't want there to be any more victims.
Thank you, Battler. Then I'll return to my room. Goda, you're in charge now. I know this is a horrible situation, but see to it that our guests have everything they need.
Yes, madam, I shall do so. With everyone watching her, Natsui left the parlor. From their faces, she could tell that they were expecting the classic mystery pattern, that the first person to quarrel and leave the circle would become the next victim. Natsui couldn't disobey because of the threat against Klaus, who had been taken hostage. Very soon it would be that promised time, 1 o'clock p.m. She was to hide for an hour in the closet of a specific guest room. It was easy to suspect that this bizarre order was a trap to select her as the next sacrifice. She thought of various ways to resist, but all methods would be useless against a culprit who had a hostage and was observing her from close by. So Natsui could do nothing but obediently follow that order, and then claim that she'd been forced to do this for her husband's safety. When the promised time had drawn near, Natsui had intentionally acted annoyed and smashed the cup on the ground to give her an excuse for slipping out of the parlor. At any rate, no matter how cowardly a trap it may be,
I cannot disobey now. I am now the one who carries the burden of the one-winged eagle. Now that my husband, Kraus, has been captured, I must protect it, even if I have to crawl through the mud. Of course I am prepared to do so. I am Ushiromiya Natsui. Even if I am not permitted to bear the one-winged eagle on my clothes, Father gave me permission to bear it in my heart.
That cat's loud.
I know. I'll let him in. Like. Oof.
Are you back? You back? Hello?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
I've managed to get this far by plausibly dashing away in a rage. So far, everything has gone well. Before my eyes was the doorknob of the specified guest room. However, I wonder if it's locked. The servants are normally ordered to lock any unused rooms. What will I do if it's locked? I dashed away from the others, pretending I was returning to my room. Popping back and asking a servant to unlock this guest room would be obviously suspicious.
Yeah.
If I can, I'd like to get this eerie hide-and-seek over with without anyone noticing. In that phone call from the one who claimed to be the man from 19 years ago, he said I would win if no one found it, but lose if anyone did find out. He said my husband would be released whether I won or lost, but as a person with a hostage taken against me, I'd rather not lose. I don't like it at all, but I have to go along with this game. When I softly gripped the doorknob, I could feel that it was unlocked. Did Shannon or Kumasawa forget to lock it after cleaning? Or did that man unlock it in advance? That man couldn't be waiting for me in this room, could he? And then, he'll... All that about hide-and-seek might have been a mere excuse. I kept the fact I was coming here a secret, and all the others think I'm resting in my room. If I were to be killed in this situation, it might create a new baffling murder case, like an extension of the one that occurred this morning. That might actually turn out for the better. Perhaps this is a good chance to confront the culprit directly.
Natsui had some experience with using a naginata, though only casually. Unlike Ava, she couldn't brag about being able to hold off any single ruffian indefinitely. As she was now, she had no realistic chance of challenging a man with malicious intent and winning. She readied herself and slowly opened the door. She couldn't just stand around in the corridor and risk being seen by someone. The atmosphere inside the guest room was frigid, and she could sense no trace of anyone waiting impatiently for her. All she could hear were the unsettling sounds of the wind and rain. At first, this seemed to prove that there was no one here to threaten her, but soon it only made an uneasy feeling rise up inside her even more strongly than before. The closet was just off to the side of anyone entering the room. Lined up inside it was a set of hangers for coats. This closet, which had nothing hanging in it, was large enough for even an adult to hide in. She softly opened the closet. Of course, there was nothing inside. She would have to hide quietly in here for an hour. The room had a wooden floor, but something like a carpet had been laid in the closet. It seemed sitting down wouldn't be a problem. She had been sure someone would be waiting for her in this room, or that a strange letter would be lying in the closet. In the worst case, she had even imagined that her husband's corpse might be inside there. However, none of these things she imagined turned out to be true. The only thing there was a cold guest room and a lifeless closet that silently urged her to enter.
And he told me to hide in here for an hour. He's mocking me.
And she does it anyway.
Well, Kraus, he's this man from 19 years ago as Kraus. Natsui shrugged,
What?
turned around, then walked and chained the guest room door.
This way, no one will be able to get into this room. In other words, no one will be able to find me for the next hour. I win. What a stupid game of hide and seek.
The show, he must be a total victory in the hide-and-seek game against that mystery man. However, it was such an easy victory, it made her feel uneasy. Normally, this would be against the rules of hide-and-seek. Even if she had one, wouldn't this displease the culprit? And now, everyone thought she had returned to her room. If they found a room with a chain set, that would make it an impossible closed room to them. Erika dashed throughout the mansion to confirm alibis or something. If she noticed that the chain was set on this room, there would probably be an uproar that would end in them cutting the chain and searching the room. If that happened, Natsui would be found hiding in the closet right away. It would be easy to honestly confess as to why she'd been hiding, however that man had insisted that she not reveal that. If she did talk, she might endanger her husband. Thinking of it that way, setting the chain, and no, even the lock might be a bad idea. That's right. This room was unlocked when I came here. If it were to suddenly become locked, it's conceivable that it might catch someone's attention. It's better if I don't do anything unnecessary. That man only told me to hide. So in the end, I have no choice but to do what he says. I hate doing it, but I cannot disobey. I undid those two precious locks, went into the dimly lit closet filled with the smell of old wood, and managed to close the door from the inside. Pitch black. It reminded me of when I was young and I used to hide in this same closet. When I used to hide somewhere and then surprise my mother, but that peaceful recollection wasn't enough to kill off my anxiety. It really is pitch black. From here, I won't even be able to check my watch to see if an hour has passed. I'll probably need to open the door crack every once in a while to let in enough light from my watch. For now, I'll crouch down here. I thought about clutching my knees, but it hurt my back when I tried. I'm not as young as I used to be, even though I was made to sit on the floor holding my knees in every PE class as a grade schooler. I now have to struggle just to sit down. Just crouching down here for an hour will probably hurt a lot. Now Natsui's in the closet.
Yep.
Well, maybe she's gonna have to come out of the closet, if you know what
I can't believe it. I don't love crows anymore. I love women.
Jeez.
The end. Hello?
What?
Are you there?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
I'm always here. Don't worry.
I can't believe I'll be hiding in the darkness for a full hour with nothing to hear except the wind and rain.
Ironically, Natsui had made Jessica do the exact same thing in the past. What? Sit in the dark closet?
Sit in the dark closet for an hour?
What? She had done it when Jessica was a little girl to scold her for her persistent bad habits and teach her a lesson. Wow, she's a good mother. She
Yeah.
thought that making Jessica stay put in the darkness would spoil the desire to reflect on her mistakes, and that this way she would understand what she had done wrong.
It almost feels like I'm being made to do the same thing. If that's the true purpose of this hide and seek, then the man from 19 years ago is Jessica!
No.
How naive of me. This must be my naivety, the hope that if their goal was to make me repent, nothing will happen here during this hour. Uncertainty and fear of that man's shadow are not what I need right now. Will someone suddenly come into this room, open this closet, and do something horrible to me now that I've come here in total secrecy as promised? That's what I should be worrying about. The culprit or one of his accomplices is very close by. If they weren't, they wouldn't be able to observe me so thoroughly. I don't want to think it, but it's highly likely that the culprit bought off one of the servants. The culprit hid an eerie card with autumn written on it in my room. My personal room is always locked. That trick wouldn't have been possible without a key. Instead of believing that they obtained the key when the servants weren't looking, it's much more realistic to assume that one of the servants lent the culprit a hand. But how? Do they know that autumn is my favorite season? How unsettling. The thought that this mystery man might be peeking into my heart sent goosebumps running across my whole body. It's true that I like autumn, but I've never said it out loud. I don't think anyone's ever heard me say it. If I asked even my husband what my favorite season is, he would probably be stumped for an answer. No. Just once, I told it to a single person. That's right. Shannon.
Shannon!
On an autumn day long ago, I happened to be in a good mood, and I mentioned that autumn was my favorite of the 4 seasons. So the culprit, or one of their accomplices, has to be Shannon. The fact that I like autumn can only be known by Shannon. In that case, this is clear proof that Shannon is involved. That card with autumn on it is proof. Outrageous, even though she served the family for 10 years. I trembled and shook with rage. Didn't Kinzo say that anger is the fastest sedative to cure fear and uncertainty? It's easy to tell the most fearful humans from within a crowd. They're always the first to get angry. I remember him telling me that. So I realized that this anger was a sign that I was actually frightened, and I tried my best to remain calm. However, this is a vital clue for turning things around. Shannon may not be reliable as a servant, but if she's an accomplice used by that mystery man, this might actually be convenient. A weak-willed girl. If I threaten her, she'll probably spill the name of the mastermind in an instant. I'll secretly tell the police about this. It might become a big clue towards arresting the culprit. That card was probably meant to shock me and get me to do what he says, but he's actually dug his own grave. I never told anyone except Shannon that I like autumn.
Oh, that's who he's using red now.
Weird. I thought it couldn't be used in the human world.
Well, it looked like when that was said, it like popped up. Maybe it was like them watching and like, oh, they can see red or some shit, I don't know.
Whatever. Whatever.
This is unshakable proof that she's working with the culprit. Though I once thought this time the closet would crush me with uncertainty and easiness, it actually given me the start of a counterattack. If I wasn't given this time in the darkness, I probably wouldn't have noticed this. I'm almost grateful to the culprit for making up this foolish game. My mood brightened. I still can't guarantee that my husband is safe, but I'll definitely get him back and force the culprit to face judgment. I clenched my fists tightly and further strengthened my resolve to avoid losing this fight at any cost.
Scared.
You got scared?
Spooky.
Rattle, rattle.
Oh,
At
God.
that time, I heard the sudden sound of someone trying to force the locked door open, and my heart leapt.
Oh, it was unlocked.
The voice was Hideyoshi's. I heard that quiet voice, as though he was talking to himself, coming from what was probably the hallway. Apparently, he had thought it was locked and tried to unlock it, but had ended up locking the unlocked door instead.
What an idiot.
What is Hideyoshi doing there?
What is Hideyoshi doing here?
Once again, there was the sound of the lock turning, and now the door opened with a faint sound. Why is Hideyoshi in this room? Jeez.
Maybe he's having sexy time with Ava.
Footsteps that sounded like his came in, and there was the sound of him closing and locking the door behind him. Then came what seemed to be the sound of him setting the chain. Don't tell me. Hideyoshi is the mastermind, or else an accomplice? Is he planning to do something to me in this room? It would take some time to unlock the door from this side, much less remove the chain. If Hideyoshi doesn't intend to let me escape from here, he won't give me enough time to undo the chain. In that case, If he opens the closet door and sees me crouching here pathetically, just what kind of fearsome words will he say? I don't want to be found. I don't want to be found. I beg you, pass right on by the closet door. Please keep going into the center of the room. My head was so filled with a throbbing sound that it felt like it was about to explode, and I almost missed hearing his noisy footsteps. So when I heard a clunking sound coming from the center of the room, I finally realized that he'd passed by the closet and was deeply relieved.
Just in case. In this weather, it's pretty much night out there anyway.
As he whispered, he did something that made a clunking sound. He was probably closing the shutters on the windows. Just in case? In case I try to escape out the window? No, that can't be it. That's right, when I left the parlor, everyone was talking about possibly taking a break. After all, several murders have occurred, and the weather's bad. There'd be nothing abnormal if someone chose to rest in a guest room here instead of returning to the guest house. In that case, locking up and closing the shutters to guarantee safety is the proper course of action to take. When he finished closing the shutters, there was a thunk, as though he flopped over on the bed. It was surprising how much of the situation could be grasped just by the sound. What's going on here? Did the man from 19 years ago plan all this out to put me in the same room as Hideyoshi? No, that probably isn't true. He probably planned on me hiding here, but Hideyoshi coming to take a rest here must have been outside the scope of his plan. Thinking about it that way, having him in the room might be odd, but it also might guarantee my own safety. Unlike his wife, Hideyoshi is the kind of person I can talk to. If Eva comes, things will probably get complicated. Maybe I should slip out of the closet now while he's still alone, reveal everything to just him and ask for help. But if I do that, my husband might be killed. Until my husband is released, I shouldn't do anything rash. Should I go out and talk or hide in here? Reader, choose. Which decision do you want me to do?
Is it a choose your own adventure story? I fucking love those.
Moaning from my headache and biting my lower lip, I resisted the urge to crawl out of here. Even if I talk with Hideyoshi, I don't know where my husband is being held. I'm sure the traitor who's observing me is nearby. Just talking to him won't solve anything. I suspect that Shannon is the traitor, but that's no proof that Goda and the others aren't. It's all useless. I guess leaving here and confessing is too dangerous after all. Eventually, I heard a strange, sobbing voice. Whose voice was it? I strained my ears, trying to hear that strange voice, and was shocked to discover that it was Hideyoshi, weeping.
No, it's because his son's dead, probably.
Hideyoshi, who had lost his only son, was finally able to shed tears and cry, now that he was all alone like this. Thinking that he needed to support Eva in her distress, he acted as though he alone was standing firm. However, he has as good a right to cry as anyone. And now that he's found a place where no one can see his tears, he finally let himself do it. And I've lost my daughter. I haven't seen her corpse with my own eyes, so it still doesn't really feel like she's dead. But if the one who carried her off was the culprit, and he had some repulsive motive for doing it, just thinking about it makes it feel as though my chest will tear itself apart. The reason I'm hiding in here now is that I'm thinking more about my still living husband than my dead daughter. But if I were given the chance, I'd be wailing at the top of my lungs too. However, I still cannot let myself do that. It isn't because the man from 19 years ago told me to hide. It's because I'm the final head of the Ushiromiya family.
I thought Balor was.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Nancy's wrong about that.
It's been completely overshadowed by the recent uproar, but last night Battler found the hidden gold and even gained the head's ring from that mysterious envelope. At the very, very end, when it's all over, I probably won't be able to prevent his ascension as the head. And when everything regarding the distribution of the inheritance is revealed, the Ushiromiya family honor and glory, passed down from father, will plummet to the earth. So, I am the final head. Battler will probably inherit the remaining wealth of the Ushiromiya family. However, its history and honor will all end with my generation. Therefore, I am the final head. I must not cry, not yet, until I get my husband back and avenge my daughter. I will not be allowed to shed tears. In the closet, I silently hung my head as I listened to Hideyoshi's sobs.
Who are you?
I fucking caught him.
Huh? My heart leapt.
No shit.
I heard a sound that must have been Hideyoshi, who had probably been lying prostrate on the bed, bounding to his feet. Did he notice me?
How did you get in here? What's that? Wait a sec. What?
He was clearly in a struggle with someone. Who on earth could it be? No, it doesn't matter who it is. It's probably the culprit, and they're probably trying to take Hideyoshi's life.
It doesn't matter who it is. It's the culprit.
No.
Shouldn't I jump out of here and help him? If I can't help him, shouldn't I call for help? No, but if I do something like that, I'll be questioned about why I was hiding here. However, if Hideyoshi gets killed like this... No, now isn't the time to be saying that. At this rate, he'll certainly be killed. I'll jump out of here and help him right now. Ah, but if I do that, even if I can save Hideyoshi, I might be abandoning my husband's life. Hideyoshi's life and my husband's life. How sinful it would be to try and weigh those against each other. At that time, there was a loud sound as the door opened and the chain was pulled tight. Someone was trying to open the door despite the chain being set.
Dear, it's me. Could you open up?
Ava,
Dear, what? What's happening? Dear, open up.
Gah.
Open up, dear. Someone.
She opened and closed the door over and over again with all her might.
So it's probably... She opened and closed the door over and over again with all her might, but of course she couldn't snap the chain. Ava called for help in a loud voice and raced through the hallway.
Damn.
By this time, the room had settled back into silence, and the earlier sense of Hideyoshi being in a noisy struggle had disappeared completely.
What's going on here? So right now, I'm in the same room as the murderer who killed Hideyoshi. In that case, the culprit should try to escape from the room as soon as possible. So why are they hiding in here? I haven't heard anything. Nothing that might have been the culprit who attacked Hideyoshi rushing away. No matter how much I strain my ears, I can't sense anyone in the room. In fact, it's so silent that it makes what happened just a second ago feel like an illusion. In other words, does this mean that the culprit is hiding his breath, standing just outside the closet, waiting for me to stumble out? I don't even know what I should be scared of anymore. If only I could just melt away into the darkness of this closet. I mustn't remain in this room any longer. I get this feeling I have more to worry about than just my personal safety. But what should I do? I don't even know if it's a good idea to leave this closet. Eventually, the clamor of many rushing footsteps approached. I'll hold my breath again and melt away into the darkness of the closet. Ava dashed back, bringing everyone with her.
Goto was gripping some wire cuts to cut the chain with. After trying to open the door again and confirming that the chain was still set, she yelled through the crack in the door.
Dear, we're going to open this up. Cut it right now.
Yes! Goto stuck the large wire cutter, which looked like it could slice off a whole finger, through the crack of the door, and easily severed the chain.
Dear.
As soon as it was severed, Ava pushed Goto aside and dashed in. The others tried to follow her, but they all bumped into Ava, who had fallen to her knees, moaning. So even though they couldn't tell much of what was going on inside the room, they could tell by Ava's moans that they were too late.
What the hell? Dear, Dr. Nancho, look at my husband, quickly.
I'll do it right now!
You've gotta be kidding me. It's only been about 10 minutes since Uncle Hideyoshi went out saying you wanted to rest.
Is there anyone in the bathroom? No! There's no one here!
Oh.
What could have happened? Ah!
Dear.
I'm afraid to say that there's nothing I can do. Nanjo stood up, hanging his head sadly. It was only natural, because anyone, even if they weren't a doctor, would think that at a glance. Hideyoshi was lying face down on the bed, and stuck deep into his back was something like a blade with an intricate demon design on it. When Ava pulled it out with all her might, they could tell that it wasn't a blade, but some kind of stake. and its sharp tip had penetrated nearly 15 centimeters in. It had probably dug deep into the lungs. If it had been stuck in any harder, the tip might even have pierced all the way through to the surface of his chest.
Didn't I tell you to wait for me? Why did you go on alone? Stupid, stupid, stupid. What? The culprit probably waited for us to get careless and split up. That bastard. So he still hasn't had enough blood.
So he really is hiding somewhere in this mansion and coming after us? But there's something strange here. The doors and windows to this room are completely sealed. That's right. The shutters are all shut and the door chain was set until a second ago.
Huh? But that's crazy. In that case, how did the culprit attack Yayyy in this room?
Maybe they threw this stake through the crack in the door!
No. God damn it, Goda. Damn it, Goda.
Maybe Goda did it.
Maybe Goda did it. Whoa, maybe Natsui did it.
Natsui was in the closet.
Yeah.
Hideyoshi's
Maybe-
bed is in a total blind spot from this crack. You couldn't even kill him with a gun. This really is strange. It's a closed room murder. A closed room murder?
It's a bit too early to be sure about that. Maybe he removed the ceiling in the bathroom and escaped to the space above it, or maybe he can close the shutters from outside. The shutters, they didn't budge an inch from the outside. I just went and checked. Erika.
It's no wonder everything felt so quiet and relaxed. At some point, Erika had split from the group. Just now, she had finally arrived and poked her face in from the hallway. When she heard that a crime had occurred in this room, she had watched everyone rush towards the room but circled around to the outer wall herself. And she had gone all by herself to check that the shutter was down on the window, that you couldn't do anything with it from the outside, and that there was nothing out of the ordinary.
Is it inside of the room just like usual? There's no need to say it like that. My deepest condolences. So, what's the situation inside the room?
The chain was set on the door, so we cut it and entered.
And all the windows have the shutters down, they're locked tight from the inside. What are they bickering about in there?
Ava was arguing with Nanjo about something. Apparently, she wanted to carry the corpse to the parlor. Nanjo tried to calm her, saying that they should leave the crime scene as untouched as possible until the police arrived.
What happened to the other corpses? The culprit carried them off somewhere, right? Maybe if the culprit isn't satisfied with just killing, but intends to do something with the corpses. So no way we're leaving my husband all alone here.
Ava does have a point. After all, the victims before now have all been carried away after we were shown their terrible wounds.
Erika, you'd probably like to preserve the crime scene, but could you just let this one slide? Do whatever you want. All I'm interested in is the fact that a closed room has appeared. That's much more serious than Kinzo's study. I have no interest in corpses, so do as you please.
We lost Kinzo's study.
Yeah.
Bauer's expression was clearly unhappy, but she ignored him completely.
Feel free to carry that corpse out anytime, or am I in the way?
Erika backed away from the door to open a path. She showed no trace of any sadness for the dead. Her eyes simply blazed with thoughts of this closed room murder that had appeared. In any event, the great detective had given her permission. Ava and some others wrapped Hideyoshi up on the sheets, and Goda and Rudolph carried him out. The sheets were quickly stained red. It was so painful to see that Shannon and Kumasawa stripped the blanket off the bed to further cover the corpse.
Hey, out of the way. Yeah, I'm out of the way. Out of the way. Oh shit. Let's go to the parlor.
Yes!
Dear, what?
Listen up, everyone. For From now on, we'll always move as a group. You must not let yourself be isolated.
When the culprit attacked Genji, you probably got a master key. It's clear that even locking up will no longer make you safe.
But what about the chain?
The chain would make you safe.
But it didn't. Oh yeah.
But it didn't. It didn't. Oh God!
Was about to say exactly what I just said.
Even the chain was set. How did they do it?
It's impossible. The shutters in the chain were firmly set. Even with a master key, it'd be impossible to force your way into that room. Unless Hideyoshi opened the chain and then closed it again for the person.
No. Unless a person stuck his hand through the crack in the door and then undid the chain that way.
And you can't do that.
But what if you could?
No, yeah. Have you ever had a chain lock?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
not
impossible. They're meant to be, once you open it, like you're not able to slide it all the way across.
Oh.
to the part that you're able to open.
What the fuck is going on?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's impossible. The shutters in the chain were firmly set. Even with a master key, it'd be impossible to force your way into that room.
It must have been Beatrice's doing. Oh!
There's no way Beatrice did this. The epitaph has been solved, so there shouldn't be any more reason to hold the ceremony. Of course, we can't understand it. This would be impossible for anyone except a witch.
Impossible for anyone except a witch, you say? Good. Has a nice ring to it.
Erika, are you listening? We've decided to stick together from now on. First, we're carrying Hideyoshi's corpse to the parlor. Can you hold off playing detective until we get there?
When she heard the words playing detective, Erika grimaced visibly. Then everyone stumbled out and she took a single step into the now empty guest room, looked around and burned that scene into her eyes. Erika claimed to have a photographic memory. If that was true, those few seconds were more than enough for her. Later on, she could sip black tea in the parlor while perusing the photograph of the scene inside her memory, playing the part of an armchair detective. Then, suddenly, her eyes stopped on the closet off to the side, a closet for hanging overcoats. It was large enough to fit a coat on a hanger. The person should be able to hide in it. Slowly, Erika stretched her hand out towards the closet. Erika's shoulder was grabbed roughly from behind.
Let's go, Miss Detective. Didn't you ever learn how to stick together on school field trips? Well, whenever I go traveling, someone always dies. What? That's... what? What? Someone always dies?
Well, yeah, that's why she never learned on the trip she's always went on. Nobody ever learned to stick with the group.
Guess not. Hey, what do you think you're doing, Brits? Come quickly.
Rudolph told them to hurry. After clicking her tongue and glaring at the closet, Erika followed Babwa back to the parlor for the time being.
Well, that's convenient for Natsui.
No, it isn't. She has no alibi, and Hideyoshi was just murdered, and they don't know where she was. They know where everybody else was, I guess. They were all together except for her and Hideyoshi.
Yeah, but at least she wasn't found in the closet.
Well, yeah, but, they're still gonna blame her for it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, what's her alibi? I was in the closet when Hideyoshi got murdered. That's a great alibi.
Best alibi ever.
The sound of their footsteps finally faded. The time of terror, when I feared that even the dripping of the cold sweat covering my cheeks might be noticed, had finally ended. With my hand that still couldn't stop trembling, I slowly opened the closet door and dashed out into the hallway. It's okay, no one's found me. Still, it's a good thing they didn't lock the door. If they had, I wouldn't be able to lock it behind me after I left, and they'd find that suspicious.
Anyway, I should leave this place. Then I'll return to my room and pretend that I was sleeping the whole time. Yes, if I don't get back soon, a new murder has occurred. They'll probably try to tell me about it, and they'll probably do it shortly after they carry Hideyoshi's corpse back to the parlor. I can get around a phone call by saying I was asleep and didn't notice, but if they come knocking directly, that'll be bad. I have to get back quickly before they try to force their way in. I don't know whether I should run all out noisily, hide my footsteps and walk in secret, or walk around normally as though nothing has happened. At the very least, it'll be bad if I bump into them on their way back to the parlor. Anyway, I'll head to my room at a quick pace without being noticed by anyone. I pass through the hallway, to the lobby. If I go up the big staircase in the lobby, my room is just a little bit...
Natsui.
Yeah, I think that's who it is.
Yeah!
Just as she was about to go up the wide staircase, Natsui heard Erika
Oh.
call out to her. I was so surprised that she visibly jumped.
I was just about to go and tell you the news.
Thank you very much. Did something happen?
Just now, Natsui, you will climb to the stairs, right? Your room's upstairs, isn't it?
Erika coldly pointed out this strange fact. Natsui cursed her bad luck.
I couldn't sleep, so I was going to return to the parlor, but I wasn't sure whether I had locked my room or not, so I was about to head back. I'm a worrier, so this sort of thing happens a lot. Don't worry about it.
What? Yeah, this sort of thing does happen a lot. It's a common quirk among people who aren't confident in their memory.
Ooh.
Damn.
Burn.
That is a burn.
Normally, since Erika was clearly making fun of her, Natsui might have looked annoyed. However, right now, Natsui was extremely relieved to hear Erika admit that this sort of thing happened a lot.
Why are you by yourself, Erika?
I thought I'd investigate that guest room.
Guest room?
Yep. This situation's gotten pretty serious, hasn't it? And investigating the scene of the crime is my right.
Erika's probing gaze peered deep into Natsui's eyes. She could tell. Erika already suspected Natsui, judging by the subtle nuance in her words.
She must be planning to make me slip up and reveal that I know about the crime with Hideyoshi when I supposedly haven't been told about it yet.
Natsui played dumb and asked what had happened again.
Is something wrong?
No, it's nothing. This is just a repeat of the first crime, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Again, you were in your room. And again, you can't prove your alibi, can you?
I don't know what you mean. To turn it around, how can you prove that I wasn't in my room?
That. Then let's take this one step at a time. Please worry about your lock later. I have something vitally important to discuss with everyone.
I'll come back after I check my lock. Please get started without me.
Hideyoshi has been killed. We'll be talking about that.
What?
Jesus.
She had planned on using the need to check her lock as an excuse to escape to her own room, after which she would claim to have a sudden headache and stay in bed the rest of the time. However, now that she had been informed of Hideyoshi's murder, it would be clearly suspicious to postpone that and escape to her room. She was already under suspicion just because she'd been seen heading up the stairs to the second floor. She couldn't afford to do anything else suspicious. Natsui gave up and headed for the parlor as Erika had urged her to do. When she opened the door to the parlor, Ava's sobs poured out.
I came as soon as I heard.
And
I
everyone...
don't get the reference.
What?
Nothing.
And everyone glanced at Natsui with grave faces. Those gazes made it look as though they suspected Natsui. It was now painfully apparent to Natsui. This must have been what that man was after. It was a trap to create a baffling closed room mystery and try to flame it, to flame her in a picture. However, she couldn't have resisted. She couldn't sacrifice her husband's wife. And while it's true I hid in the closet, that's all I did. I definitely haven't committed murder. I might be extremely suspicious, but I'm not the culprit. And most importantly, I'm not under suspicion yet. I'll tell the police everything. I'll have to endure until then.
Oh, Kraus, I hope you're still alive. I'm sure one of the servants is a traitor. Even in a situation like this, if I mention my husband being held hostage, the culprit will hear and might use it as an excuse to kill him.
Now, so we just come back. Now that we're all here, I have something very important to discuss with you all. Something very important.
I didn't do it!
Yes, it's very important. I'd like to lay out everything in front of you all, starting with the first crime. Oh god. Oh shit, my fucking thing is muted. Damn it.
What is muted?
My microphone.
Oh no.
What the fuck?
Oh well.
Yeah,
How long was it muted?
for a little while.
How long?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. It's working now, right?
Yeah.
So if Mike's voice was gone for a little bit, his microphone was muted.
Yeah.
And it's working.
I think
yeah.
I think I touched my red button. Yes.
Oh well, a lot of this episode was just me talking anyways. So yeah, hopefully it didn't wreck your viewing pleasuring.
Yes, hopefully not. If it does, I apologize.
Then please do that with just the others. I think we should leave that sort of thing to the police. I'm not interested.
Since I have it all laid out, this is a very important thing to discuss. Neither you nor anyone else has the right to refuse.
Erika used her detective's authority to proclaim the start of an assembly. None of the pieces could disobey. Praying that she wouldn't become the topic of conversation, Natsui reluctantly sat on the sofa as she'd been urged to.
Oh, sorry. Could you close that door for me?
Yes.
This is where at the beginning of, I think we caught up to the beginning of the episode.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, where Erika's like, "You're the culprit, Natsui."
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, Shannon and Kennen closed the door. Since it had been decided a short while ago to walk all doors and windows carefully, Kennen walked it. That walk, which existed to protect the safety of this room, felt like a walk on a prison cell to Natsui, one that would hold her in place and prevent any escape. Natsui still hadn't noticed. Though Erika had gone into the corridor to check the crime scene in Hideyoshi's room, her goal had changed. In other words, from Erika's point of view, the sound of that walk was truly...
Checkmate.
Erika said that suddenly. Berncastel said that suddenly.
Oh, fast! Wow, so you figured out the culprit already. We barely got into any of the crimes, right? You could have just let me kill a few more and gathered a few clues yourself.
Okay, Lambda, gather all the pieces. Now we're getting to the most interesting part. Let's both enjoy it to the fullest.
Well, let's see. Why don't you show me what you've got?
To think she'd lay down the challenge without waiting for game set at 2400. What a hasty person that Lady Berncastel. It is quite the nerdy challenge. To think that she's already managed to obtain a winning hand at this stage. Normally, you can win by just claiming that a witch exists, but with Natsui and Kinzo, we've got a lot we need to protect this time. Sounds like this fight'll be a pain. That's no problem at all. I won't let them do as they please with my golden island any longer. Bring it on, Lady Berncastel, Ferudo Erika. In the Golden Land, the endless rain continued to fall. Battler was nowhere to be seen. It would very soon reach the time that Battler had joined in on the 5th game, and control of the pieces would be passed on to Battler. In other words, he would only be officially added to the game now, in this final stage. There you go, now it's going to be Battler. Battler's going to be the person who's trying to figure it out again.
Yeah.
Where Berncastel had pinpointed the Berncastel already figured it out though.
Yeah. Well, damn.
That was what Battler was planning the whole time. You get
The whole time.
Berncastel
He
to
doesn't
figure
have to
it
do
out,
any work.
and then he'd come in right at the end and don't take all the credit.
Yeah.
So he had left the arbor a short while ago. Now the only ones inside were Virgilia, who continued to knit silently, and Beato, who just sat there blankly amidst the smell of her black tea, not even putting the cup to her lips. Virgilia stopped knitting for a moment, and looked out across the vast golden rose garden that extended as far as the eye could see. I believe it's safe to say that at least in the game over who the culprit is, Battler has gained such strength that he will never surrender again. By the fourth game, you had sent him all your messages. In other words, at this time, Battler is capable of realizing the truth at any moment, just like Mike.
Hey,
However,
but I don't know where to start.
he is still soft in some ways. So, even if the games continue like this 100 times, he won't solve it for all eternity, just like Mike.
No! Damn it.
He'll just wander forever, like someone trying to find the bluebird. And that is you, Beatrice. It's the same for you. Even if this game continues hundreds more times, you will never reach the answer you seek, for all eternity. Burncaster will abuse this game without a doubt, and the Delta will also turn this game about with the utmost arrogance. At a glance, that may be humiliating and appear to you and Battler as though the game has been stolen from you. However, that is something the two of you need right now. To end Battler's naive softness. To end your hesitation. And that's why you called the two of them here. To end the eternal torture between you. Those two will bring you either victory or defeat. But no matter how it goes, that result has already been filled with compassion. You should understand that as well by now. Virgilia faced Beato, whom she had come to adore as a daughter, with cold eyes that she must not have shown often. It was like the gaze of a mother who, instead of scolding, silently urges their child to recognize their mistake. Beatrice, how long do you intend to stay there? Neither alive, nor dead, not rising up to heaven, nor falling into hell, there on the peak of Mount Purgatory. I am Virgilia. I have guided him through Purgatory and brought him to you at its peak, and you are Beatrice. You must choose whether to take his hand and rise up to heaven, or grab him and fall into hell. Did you know that the Discord group called Purgatory, which lies in the gap between heaven and hell, is sometimes more torturous than even hell itself? On the gates of hell it is written that you must abandon all hope. A human without hope can accept their suffering and give up. However, the residents of Purgatory have hope, a hope of possibly reaching heaven, a hope that cannot be abandoned, and it tortures them. Even in the depths of hell, no greater torture device exists than the single pin known as hope. Fly. Fly from the cliffs of Purgatory. Take with you the regrets caused by your fleeting, fragile, foolish hopes, and then open up Pandora's box. Are you scared? Scared of opening the box? Beato was silent, but with a single tear, she nodded slightly. Is the cat in the box alive or dead? The time has now come to check. If the cat is dead, quickly hold a funeral for it and have it rise to heaven. If the cat is alive, quickly feed it and give it all of your affection. Whether it is alive or dead, your cat box eternally desecrates the cat. The key to the box that you are afraid to open has been brought to you by those two. Beatrice, it's time for you to die now. I hope that your heart is stopped by the hand of the person you desire.
Damn. Getting goosebumps, dude.
Whoa, clock's real close. It is now.
It's very big.
Yes.
Damn, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Whoa. Damn. Exactly 12 o'clock.
Midnight.
Yes, I think so.
Midnight's the end of the game. Now, yeah,
Damn.
you see, it just skips right ahead. There's only
Just
a few
skips
more.
fucking
There's only a few more of these. And then
Evan's
we're done the
gonna-
episode.
Wow. Holy shit.
We're fairly close.
Yeah.
But we're not going to record anymore today because the next one is really long.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is the trial. This is Natsui's trial. They're trying to say that she's the culprit. It's like at the end of a game of Clue when you gotta accuse the person. That's what this is. They're accusing Natsui.
Okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool as fuck. Okay. I'm free tomorrow and also the day after tomorrow. So we can record more Umineko then if you want.
Yeah, let's do it. Because I know we said we were going to record more this last week, but
Yeah, I'm assuming you got busy.
I wanted to finish Persona 5. I just wanted it to be kind of over, but I didn't want to abandon it. And so the time that I said we would record, I just played Persona 5. By the way, if you want to hear my review of Persona 5 Royal, listen to episode 50 of the Degenerates podcast. We're at episode 50 of that podcast now, you guys. It's going real good.
It's awesome.
So do you have any final words? What do you think's going to happen? Do you think Natsui is the culprit?
Do I think Natsui is the culprit?
Yeah.
I don't know, pretty much everything fits. She's the only one who doesn't have an alibi for that. She was in the room when Hideyoshi was murdered.
Well, she was in the closet.
In the closet, yeah. And so she could have had a space out moment where she just thinks she's in the closet, but she's actually killing Hideyoshi. Actually, no, that doesn't make sense. Okay, no. I don't think it was Natsui. I don't think so. Natsui wouldn't kill her. Well,
They're gonna get to the bottom of it in the trial, the next episode. It's a long one. It's a long one. It's the last long one. I looked at that playlist. It's like none of the other ones are as long as this one again. But it's a pretty long one, so we can't record it today.
Nope. Gotta go to work.
Yep. Okay, bye.
Okay, goodbye.